Yo, what's going on, guys? So, quick video tonight. Biggest thing today, NQ comes down to our daily volume imbalance here that I mentioned down here to that 17,550 level. And then we also had some equal highs down or equal lows down here as well. These lows right here down at 5,669. Obviously, we come down and take those. Another big thing. Obviously, we came into today kind of bullish, right? We came into today because yesterday we we knew we had hit this, right? We had hit this on the 4 hour. This was yesterday. All we had was this here, right? We seen we hit 4 hour 50%. We hit the 4 hour FEG here. We could probably expect some kind of at least retrace. Maybe not back to highs, but maybe up to an FEG 50% up, and then back lower. We also knew we had the same thing on ES, right? So if we draw our 50% here on ES, it did not select there. We had our 50% here on ES last night too, right? Except the big thing was ES hit the lowest FVG in the leg, hit 50%, and then obviously went back up today. NQ did only hit this middle one was a little bit stronger yesterday, so it didn't go down to the farther one like ES did. Um, so came into today, right? And I was like, well, I'm gonna be bullish if we had to get over those hourly FVGs, right? I said I'm watching this one, and I'm watching this one. And why am I watching these? Well, obviously because they're hourly fair value gaps. But remember, we're delivering. This was the 4 hour 50%, right? So if we draw from here to here, it's like, oh, well, I mean, the biggest one was this one because it was right above 50%. Obviously, we got above it, and then price pushed back lower, then went back higher. But the big thing was we never inverse this hourly. If we inverse this hourly, we know we're going up to a previous day high, right? We're going up here to that 792 level and probably higher. What happens? We end up just going up. So we went down 50% to go back up 50%. It's how the market moves, right? It moves 50% into unfilled FPGs, and then we keep going that direction. Um, so I mean that's what happened today, and then obviously reject here, and then remember this morning with data lows. This was data lows, and I was like, these lows look so sketchy down here. Why do they look sketchy? Well, they look sketchy because always preaching wherever smooth lows are is where liquidity sits. It's where the market's going to target. Like up here, you just have one high, and then from overnight, like we had up here, we had like these stab marks. It's like a like I say, a serrated knife. Instead, we had lows down here. Like look at all these smooth lows. We had relative equal lows here with data lows. We know there's always liquidity sitting at data lows. We had these lows down here. So it made sense to come down and take all this liquidity, right? Because everyone sees this as like support, right? It's like where we bounced before, so it's where price should bounce. Well, that's where price is going to attack. So it makes sense for the market to come back there. And then once we took these, I was like, oh, we could possibly get a long here, right? Because we cleared out all these lows. I was looking at the hourly chart and I was like, oh, well, I see these relatively equal lows down here. I was like, well, we should go here, right? And I was like, oh, I mean, we see these hourlies, these should get taken, and then maybe look for a long from there. What else lines up with here was this daily volume imbalance right here. You see, we wicked into it today, and then we got our bounce, and then the afternoon. We took one other trade today. I don't remember exactly where it was. We caught 10 points, and then we got out at break even on the rest, but we ended up catching the long. Out of all this today, we ended up catching this whole move right here. We caught every penny of it for the most part. We took an order block play. Why did I take this? So I was looking at this. I was like, well, we've got this huge dump here. What happens after we have these huge dumps and then we start to bounce? Like we know we're in the daily volume imbalance here. We know we've hit now the lowest 4 hour FVG here, right? And I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's possible. This is a chance. It may not be the most bullish thing because we're slicing down, but this is a spot where you can expect some kind of bounce. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, we have hourly 50%. Let's get rid of these to alleviate confusion here. We had hourly 50% sitting right here. Was sitting up at at 647 on the hourly. Then we go to the 5-minute chart, and this was our first target. Well, our first target was 10 points, but we had um, our second target, our first target was, let's try to make it a little bit bigger here so you can see. We're targeting 594 because we know these markets move. You know, once we get a balance, even in a downtrend, we're almost guaranteed to get that 50% retracement, either on ES or NQ. And I'm like, okay, well, we're not getting any FVGs in inverse here. Let's try a light position. Let's play this 5-minute order block. So we ended up taking a long here on this retest down here, like at 576, and then we went to break even when we hit this high at 88, 84. I think it was 84 because we were at 10 points, so we went to break even. Um, and then obviously we continued up. We sold another one at 594 here. Why did we sell at 594? It's our 50% mark in a 5-minute FVG where we could absolutely reject. So you want to make sure you're break even because price could have just came up here and then went back lower. I was like, well, let's hold a runner. I mean, we're at break even, or we're either going to hit break even, or we can hold a runner for another 50 points here up to hourly 50%, which then lines up here, and then you see what happens, right? It's a little bit higher. I guess I messed it up here. So you see what happens, right? It's a perfect example of how the market moves in 50% to 50% FEG to FVG. So you see what happens, exactly what happens here at hourly 50%. This is a very bearish sign. Otherwise, you would expect price to just keep pumping through here, pumping through that 50% back up higher. So I do think we're probably bearish going into tomorrow based off this, because this is going to be your hourly bearish order block here. But you got to remember we are still in a 4-hour fair value gap here. If we wake up and we're slicing through this down to 493, and I think we're going back down to these lows. Another thing to mention, and another reason to kind of stay bearish is yesterday when we came down to 50% here, right here on this low, the fact we did not put in a new swing high tells us we just went up to hit 50%, and if we come down and take this low, whatever low this was after would have just taken it then. The fact we went up 50%, came back lower, took this low, means we have a bigger target to take to the downside. Maybe that target was just go hit this hourly FEG, but it doesn't make sense because ESR already did, right? So it's got me thinking like, oh, we have a bigger target down below we have to go take care of, which could be down here at 409, and then remember we have on the daily we still have this daily breaker block sitting here as well. Here would be your breaker block from here to here. And then we also have this daily BPR down here that is left unfilled down here at that 17, we'll call it 1780 level. So not going full bearish just because, I mean, we could just be coming down, but we've already balanced this daily fair value gap. So if we come down and take that 410 level I was just showing you, and we keep pushing lower, I think we're headed down to 1780, and to go fill in this daily BPR and hit this daily breaker block, and then we'll see how price reacts from there. And then maybe that gives ES the relief it needs to find more power to go back up to that 50,028 level. So that's what I'm looking for on NQ going into tomorrow. Quick recap of the nice trade we took, 70 points. That trade for it just felt so good today because so many people were bearish and we were catching the long, and it was working. ES, obviously not nearly as bearish as NQ though, right? So this is why you can't go full bear yet. ES, I mean, if we look at NQ 4-hour, look at this. We put in this 4-hour bearish OB today, and then look what happens. We come up, we absolutely reject it, come back down. ES is putting in a bullish 4-hour order block here, right? So I want to see this hold overnight for ES to be bullish for ES tomorrow. Obviously, still holding this 4-hour as well. So this is a reason that we could remain bullish tomorrow, just because the strength of ES. Let's see how YM looks here. YM on the 4 hour looks about the same as ES, right? It's got 4 hour order block here. Um, it hit look how YM hit 50% from the last swing low. Up here, it's holding 50% well, and this 4 hour FEG. So not ready to go full bear yet because YM and ES can easily hold up and Q tomorrow, and then we end up pushing back up higher because if you look at this as well on the 4 hour, YM looks like it's ready to run this 4 hour downtrend back up, which would also bring ES as well because if you look at ES has pretty much the same looking thing here on the 4 hour. So kind of 50-50 going into tomorrow. Like I said, going to be one of those days that we wait for overnight candles. Plus we have PCE tomorrow, so PCE should give us a good idea for what to expect going into tomorrow. So with that, hope you guys had a fantastic day, another green day, and we will catch you guys in the morning.